The widowed millionaire's children wouldn't stop crying until the nurse sang and Michael Thompson walked the halls of Mercy General Hospital in Chicago like a ghost. For 5 days, his triplets wouldn't stop crying, and no nurse could calm them. The medical team was exhausted, and he felt he might lose his mind at any moment. Then he heard a soft voice echoing down the hallway. Someone was humming an old melody, almost whispering. For the first time in days, the baby's endless crying had stopped. Michael rushed to the nursery and saw a sight that left him speechless. A young nurse with curly hair was leaning over the 3 cribs, singing softly. The triplets were fast asleep, their faces peaceful, an expression he hadn't seen since they were born. Their tiny fists relaxed, their breathing calm. Everything finally seemed at peace. "What happened here?" he asked quietly, afraid to break the spell. The nurse turned, revealing kind brown eyes and a tired smile. She couldn't have been more than 25, but there was a maturity in her gaze that struck him. "They just needed a lullaby, Mr. Thompson. My grandmother always said music soothes any restless soul." She adjusted the baby's blankets with a mother's care. "I'm Amanda Parker from the night shift. I started here 3 days ago." Michael watched how his children responded to her presence. Ethan, the fussiest of the 3, kept his little hand near Amanda's arm. Jacob, who always struggled to breathe, seemed to be doing so more easily. And Mason, the smallest, slept without the tense look on his face for the first time since birth. "How did you do this? No other nurse could." His voice broke. The past weeks had been a nightmare. First, losing Jennifer during the complicated delivery, then the baby's constant crying, a relentless reminder that she wasn't there to help him. "Sometimes children sense things we can't explain, sir. They know when someone sings from the heart," Amanda replied, checking the monitors. "Your children are very special. They just needed someone who understood their language." Michael watched as she went about her routine checks. There was something different in the way she moved, the way she touched the babies. It wasn't just professional, it was personal, as if she truly cared for them. "I need to talk to you," he said when she finished. "Actually, I have an offer." They walked to the waiting room, where Michael explained his situation. A widower, alone, unsure how to care for 3 newborns. His sister-in-law, Rebecca, had offered to help, but he sensed she had other motives. There had always been tension between them, especially after Jennifer got pregnant. "I want you to work exclusively for me, care for my children full-time. I'll pay whatever it takes," he said, his voice heavy with desperation. Amanda was silent for a moment. She thought of her own daughter, Lily, just 4 years old, who stayed with their neighbor Dorothy whenever she worked. Her hospital salary barely covered rent for their small apartment on the south side. An opportunity like this would change their lives completely. "I accept, Mr. Thompson, but I need to be honest with you about a few things," she hesitated, fearing the truth might change his mind. "Go ahead." "I also have a young daughter. She stays with a neighbor when I'm working. If I take this job full-time, I'll need to figure something out for her." Michael nodded. He was so desperate that any detail seemed small compared to the possibility of his children finally finding peace. "We'll work it out. The important thing is that you accept it." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. 3 days later, Amanda was at the Parker Thompson mansion in North Shore, a world completely different from what she was used to. The house was enormous, with bedrooms larger than her entire apartment. The triplets' nursery was a dream, with 3 solid wood cribs and every piece of equipment they could possibly need. But what caught her attention the most was the silence. Not the silence of the babies who had started crying again the moment she left the hospital, but the emotional silence that hung over the house. Michael walked around as if he were lost in his own home, and Rebecca, his sister-in-law, watched Amanda's every move with suspicious eyes. "So you're the miracle nurse," Rebecca said on the first morning, with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "How convenient that you showed up right when Michael was at his most vulnerable." Amanda pretended not to understand the insinuation and focused on the babies. As soon as she began humming the same melody from the hospital, all three instantly calmed down. Rebecca watched the scene with an expression mixing surprise and suspicion. "How do you do that?" she asked, trying to sound casual. "It's just a song my grandmother taught me. I think it's the rhythm, the tone. I can't explain it scientifically," Amanda replied while changing Mason's diaper. During the first few weeks, Amanda established a routine. She woke at 5 in the morning, got ready quickly and went to Dorothy's house to pick up Lily and take her to school. Then she returned to the mansion, where she spent the entire day with the triplets. It was exhausting, but she had never seen so much money in her bank account. Michael began observing her more closely. There was something comforting about her presence that went beyond her ability to soothe the babies. When she was around, he felt less lost, as if the house came back to life. "Do you have family here in Chicago?" he asked one afternoon as she fed Jacob. "It's just me and my daughter. I came from the countryside when she was born. Her father, well, let's just say he wasn't ready to be a dad," she answered without looking up from the baby. "And your parents?" "My mother passed when I was a teenager. My father, I never knew him. My grandmother raised me, but she's gone now too." Michael felt an unexpected connection to her story. He had also lost his parents young and built his fortune from scratch. Jennifer had been his only real family, and now, "I'm sorry. I know how hard it is to be alone in the world," he said, and for the first time in weeks, his eyes met hers with genuine empathy. That night, after Amanda left, Michael was alone with the babies for the first time since she had arrived. Within minutes, all three were crying desperately. He tried everything, holding them, bottles, playing music on his phone, but nothing worked. He was about to call Amanda when Rebecca appeared. "Say, they're addicted to her. This isn't healthy, Michael. You're making your children dependent on a stranger," she said, raising her voice to be heard over the crying. "She's not a stranger. She's the only person who can take proper care of them. And when she decides to leave, what if she asks for more money? What if she has ulterior motives?" Rebecca pressed. "You don't even really know this woman." Her words planted a seed of doubt in Michael's mind. What did he really know about Amanda beyond what she had told him? But when she returned the next morning and the babies instantly calmed at her presence, all his doubts faded. During the second week, Amanda noticed that Mason had moments where he struggled to breathe. They were subtle episodes that happened mostly when he cried a lot. She mentioned it to Michael, who immediately called the pediatrician. "You were very observant," said Dr. Wilson after examining the baby. "Mason has mild reflux that's affecting his breathing. It's common in preemies but needs to be monitored. If it hadn't been caught, it could have become a serious problem." Michael looked at Amanda with a gratitude that went beyond words. She wasn't just soothing his children, she was truly caring for them. Rebecca, however, saw things differently. "What a coincidence that she was the only one to notice," she remarked when they were alone, almost as if she wanted to seem indispensable. "What are you implying?" Amanda asked, keeping her voice calm. "I'm saying it's very convenient how you showed up right when my brother-in-law was most vulnerable, with a magic solution to all his problems, and now you're spotting things even experienced doctors missed." Amanda felt her blood boil but held her temper. She needed this job, and Lily depended on her. "I just want to take good care of the babies, Mrs. Rebecca. That's what I was hired for." But Rebecca's words began to echo in Michael's mind. He started watching Amanda more critically, looking for signs she might have ulterior motives. It made their relationship grow tense. One morning, Lily woke up with a high fever. Amanda frantically called Michael, explaining she'd need to take her daughter to the doctor and miss work. She'd never missed a day before, and guilt gnawed at her. "Go take care of your daughter. The babies will be fine for one day," Michael said, though his voice carried worry. He hired 2 temporary nurses to cover Amanda's absence. Neither could calm the triplets. The crying was so intense and prolonged that neighbors started complaining. Michael spent the whole day trying to help, but it was useless. That night, desperate, he drove to the address on Amanda's file. The apartment was in a modest but well-kept building. When she opened the door, her eyes were red from exhaustion and worry. "Mr. Thompson, what are you doing here? How's your daughter?" Pneumonia, but the doctor says she'll be okay. She's sleeping now. Michael glanced inside the small but tidy apartment. Drawings were stuck to the fridge, toys neatly stored in a box, a plastic table with children's books. It was a simple home, but full of love. "I need to ask you a favor," he said. "I know it's not fair, but my kids won't stop crying. It's been almost 16 hours straight. The temp nurses can't do anything." Amanda looked at the bedroom door where Lily slept, then back at Michael. She saw the desperation in his eyes and knew she couldn't refuse. "I'll call my neighbor to watch Lily for a few hours." Dorothy, a 60-year-old woman who lived next door, agreed to look after Lily. Amanda went to the mansion with Michael, and as soon as she began singing, the triplets settled. "How do you do that?" Michael asked, watching as she soothed Mason first, then Jacob, then Ethan. "It's like they recognize you." "I think babies sense when someone truly cares for them," she replied, adjusting their blankets. "They know I'm here because I want to be, not just out of duty." Michael watched as she hummed softly. There was something hypnotic about the melody, something that calmed not just the babies, but him too. For the first time since Jennifer's death, he felt truly at peace. "That song, where's it from?" "My grandmother used to sing it to me when I was little. She said it was an old tune, passed down from mother to daughter for generations. I don't know the exact origin, but it always had a calming effect." That night after Amanda returned home, Michael couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about how unfair he'd been to her, how Rebecca's words had influenced him. Amanda had left her sick daughter to help him, without asking for anything in return. The next morning, he showed up at her apartment door with a bouquet of flowers and the business card of the best pediatrician in town. "For your daughter," he said, handing her the card. "And this is for you," he added, giving her the flowers. "As an apology for doubting you." Amanda was surprised by the gesture. No one had ever apologized to her before. Most wealthy people she'd known treated people like her as invisible. "You don't need to apologize, Mr. Thompson. I understand your concern for the babies. Call me Michael. And yes, I do need to apologize. You've been perfect with my children, and I let other people plant doubts in my mind." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing, Lily recovered quickly with the treatment prescribed by the private pediatrician. Michael insisted on paying all the medical expenses, saying it was the least he could do after Amanda had been so dedicated. "I can't accept this," she protested. "Of course you can. My children have the best possible caregiver because you devote yourself entirely to them. It's only fair that your daughter also gets the best medical care." Their relationship began to change after that incident. Michael started talking more with Amanda, asking about her life, her dreams. She began to feel more comfortable giving her opinions about the baby's care. Rebecca noticed the change and intensified her efforts to stir up trouble. She began questioning every decision Amanda made, suggesting the babies were becoming too dependent on her. "Michael, you need to think about the future. What if she gets married and wants to leave? What if she has other children? Your kids can't rely on just one person to feel secure," she argued constantly. One afternoon, while Amanda was bathing the triplets, Rebecca walked into the nursery with a determined expression. "I need to talk to you," she said, dismissing the other staff helping with the children. "Of course, Mrs. Rebecca. What can I do for you? You can stop pretending you don't know exactly what you're doing here." Amanda stopped drying Mason and looked at Rebecca, confused. "I don't understand." "Oh, you do. A young, beautiful woman, alone in the world, suddenly appears in the life of a wealthy, vulnerable man. She forms a special bond with his children, makes herself indispensable. It's the oldest story in the book." "Are you implying I have ulterior motives with Michael?" "I'm not implying. I'm stating it. And I'm warning you, I won't let you take advantage of his situation." Amanda finished dressing Mason before responding. Her voice was calm but firm. "Mrs. Rebecca, I was hired to take care of the babies, and that's exactly what I'm doing. If Mr. Thompson is unhappy with my work, he can fire me any time." "Oh, he won't fire you. You've made sure of that, haven't you? His children won't stop crying without you. How convenient." "The babies respond to me because I genuinely care for them. That's what children sense." "How romantic. But I know your game and I won't let you destroy this family." That night, Rebecca waited for Michael to come home from work and confronted him. "We need to talk about the nanny." "Amanda, what about her?" "Michael, you're a smart man, but you're being blind. That woman is clearly interested in you and is using your children to get to you." "That's ridiculous, Rebecca. Amanda is professional and dedicated." "Professional? She's managed to make your kids dependent on her in a way that borders on unnatural. Have you ever wondered how that's possible?" Michael fell silent. The truth was, he had wondered about it many times. The baby's connection with Amanda was truly special, almost inexplicable. "And there's more," Rebecca continued. "I hired a private investigator to dig into her past." "You did what?" "It was necessary, Michael. You have 3 young children in the care of a woman you barely know. And we found some interesting things." A chill ran through Michael's stomach. Part of him didn't want to know, but part of him needed to. "What things?" "She worked for 2 years at Hopeful Beginnings Clinic, a fertility center. She left just a few months before Jennifer got pregnant. Quite a coincidence, don't you think?" The information hit Michael like a punch. Jennifer had undergone treatment at Hopeful Beginnings for years before conceiving the triplets. Could Amanda have known her? "That doesn't prove anything," he said, though his voice wavered. "It doesn't prove it, but it raises questions, doesn't it? A nurse who knew your wife during fertility treatments suddenly appears in your children's lives with a miracle solution. Doesn't that seem planned to you?" Michael spent the whole night turning Rebecca's words over in his mind. The next morning, when Amanda arrived, he watched her with new eyes. Could she really have known Jennifer? Why hadn't she mentioned it? "Amanda, can I ask you something?" "Of course, Michael." "Did you ever work at Hopeful Beginnings Clinic?" Amanda froze for a moment. She had known this moment would come eventually, but she wasn't ready. "I did. Why do you ask?" "My wife was treated there for years. Did you know her?" Amanda took a deep breath. She had hoped this connection would never come to light, but now there was no avoiding the truth. "Yes, Michael. I cared for Jennifer during some of her treatments. She was a very special patient." The silence that followed was deafening. Michael felt as if the ground had disappeared beneath his feet. "And you didn't think that was important to mention?" I didn't want you to think I was taking advantage of the situation. When I saw you at that hospital desperate, I just wanted to help. I didn't think about how it would look later. How it would look. It looks like you planned this, Amanda. It looks like you used your connection with my wife to weasel your way into my life. That's not true, Michael. I never. Who else knows about this? He interrupted. No one. I never told anyone. But now I know. And now I need to know everything. What else are you hiding from me? Tears burned in Amanda's eyes, but she forced herself to stay composed. I'm not hiding anything, Michael. Jennifer was a wonderful woman who wanted nothing more than to be a mother. I cared about her just like I care about all my patients. When she finally got pregnant, we were all so happy at the clinic. And when she died, you saw an opportunity, a chance to step into her children's lives. His words cut like knives. Amanda had never felt so humiliated. If that's what you think of me, maybe it's best if I leave, she said, struggling to keep her voice steady. Michael was torn between anger and confusion. Part of him wanted to believe her, but the revelation had shaken his trust. Maybe it is, he said, the words slipping out before he could think better of them. Amanda nodded, picked up her bag, and headed for the door. Before leaving, she turned back one last time. For your information, Michael, Jennifer recorded several videos during her treatments. Videos about her fears, her hopes, her dreams for the children who hadn't been born yet. Maybe you should look for them before judging me so harshly. After she left, the silence of the house was broken by the crying of the triplets. Ethan, Jacob, and Mason started crying all at once, as if they sensed something was wrong. Michael tried to calm them, but nothing worked. Rebecca appeared with a smug smile. See? Now you can hire real professional nurses. Your children will get used to it. But the babies didn't get used to it. They cried for hours on end. Michael hired 3 different nurses, all highly qualified, but none could soothe the triplets. After 2 sleepless days, he was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. That's when he remembered Amanda's words about Jennifer's videos. He had never looked for anything like that before, but he decided to search through his wife's belongings. In her nightstand drawer, he found a flash drive he'd never seen. When he plugged it into his laptop, he discovered dozens of videos recorded during her years of treatment at the clinic. In the first video, Jennifer looked younger, full of hope. "Hi, my love," she spoke to the camera. "If you're watching this, it means something went wrong with me, but our babies were born. I wanted to record these so they'd know how much they were wanted, how hard we fought to have them." Michael watched video after video, seeing Jennifer talk about her fears, her hopes, the clinic staff who supported her through it all, and then he came to one that changed everything. "Today, I met a very special nurse," Jennifer said, clearly emotional. "Her name is Amanda, and she has the voice of an angel. When I had an anxiety attack after a failed procedure, she started singing an old song to calm me down. It was the first time in months I felt truly at peace." The video continued with Jennifer describing how Amanda had become a source of comfort during the hardest part of her treatments. "She taught me a lullaby her grandmother used to sing to her. She said one day when I had my babies, I could sing it to them too. It's such a beautiful melody, so soothing. I recorded her singing it to me. It's at the end of this file." Michael skipped to the end and heard for the first time Amanda's voice singing the same melody that soothed his children. But that wasn't all. Jennifer had recorded herself learning the song, singing along with Amanda. In the last video of the series, recorded late in her pregnancy, Jennifer looked visibly tired but determined. "If anything happens to me during delivery, I want you to know I'm not sad. So I'm happy because I got to bring the three of you into the world. And if Daddy is lost without me, tell him to look for the nurse with the angel's voice, Amanda Parker. She'll know how to care for you the way I would." Michael stopped the video and sat in silence for a long time. Amanda hadn't lied. She hadn't taken advantage of the situation. Jennifer had literally asked him to find her. He grabbed his car keys and drove to Amanda's apartment. It was nearly midnight, but he needed to talk to her right away. When she answered the door, she was in pajamas, her eyes swollen from crying. "Michael, what are you doing here at this hour?" "I saw the videos, Amanda, all of them." She closed her eyes, understanding immediately. "And now you know why I couldn't tell you. How could I explain that your wife asked me to take care of your children? How would that not sound like a convenient lie?" "Forgive me," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I was a fool. Jennifer asked me to find you, and when I finally did, I let others make me doubt. Are your children okay? They haven't stopped crying for 2 days. They miss you. And you? Do you miss me?" The question caught Michael off guard. He looked at the woman who had become so important in his life and his children's lives, and realized the answer was far more complicated than he'd imagined. "Yes, I do. The house feels empty without you." Amanda took a deep breath. "I'll come back tomorrow morning. But we need to set some ground rules. I can't work in an environment where I'm constantly questioned and disrespected. Rebecca won't bother you anymore. I promise." The next morning, Amanda returned to the mansion. As soon as the triplets heard her voice, they stopped crying instantly. Michael watched her soothe his children and felt a peace he hadn't known in days. Rebecca was furious when she learned Amanda had come back. "Michael, you're making a huge mistake. That woman is manipulating you." "Rebecca, we need to talk," Michael said, leading his sister-in-law to his office. "I've discovered some things about Jennifer that you should know." He showed Rebecca the videos, especially the ones where Jennifer mentioned Amanda and asked her to care for the babies if anything happened. "This proves nothing," Rebecca said, but her voice lacked conviction. "It proves Jennifer trusted Amanda. It proves she wanted Amanda to care for our children, and it proves you were wrong about her intentions. Michael, you can't trust a woman who hid important information from you. She hid it because she knew exactly how you'd react. And she was right, wasn't she?" The argument between the siblings-in-law grew heated, with Rebecca insisting Michael was being manipulated and him defending Amanda with a passion that surprised even himself. "Why does this bother you so much, Rebecca? Why can't you accept that someone genuinely cares for my children?" "Because I care about you, Michael. Jennifer was my sister, and I promised her I'd look after you and the babies if anything happened." Look after or control? The question hit Rebecca like a slap. She realized she'd revealed more than she intended. I just want to protect you. From what? From someone who brings happiness to my children. From someone who makes this house feel like a home again. Then Rebecca revealed her true fear. Because if you fall in love with her, you'll forget Jennifer. And if you forget Jennifer, you'll forget that I'm part of this family too. Michael finally understood. Rebecca's hostility wasn't about Amanda. It was about her fear of being left behind, of losing the place Jennifer had given her in the family. Rebecca, you'll always have a place in my children's lives. You're their mother's sister. Nothing will change that. But I can't spend the rest of my life alone because you're afraid of change. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us newcomers so much. Now, continuing. In the following months, the household dynamics slowly shifted. Rebecca, though still wary, stopped attacking Amanda directly. Michael spent more time at home, watching how Amanda cared for the triplets with a dedication that went far beyond professionalism. The babies grew quickly, each developing their own personality. Ethan was the most active, always trying to roll or reach for things just beyond his grasp. Jacob was thoughtful, observing everything around him with curious eyes. Mason, the smallest, was the most affectionate, always smiling when someone approached. Amanda began bringing Lily over for occasional visits. The 4-year-old girl was enchanted by the babies, and they seemed to respond well to her presence. Michael watched the interactions and noticed how Amanda was such a loving and patient mother. "Can I ask you something personal?" Michael said one afternoon while Amanda played with Lily in the garden and the triplets slept. "Of course." "Lily's father, do you still have any contact with him?" Amanda tensed for a moment. "No. When I found out I was pregnant, he made it clear he didn't want any responsibilities. He disappeared and never reached out again." "He doesn't know what he's missing," Michael said, watching Lily laugh as she chased a butterfly. "Lily keeps asking about her father. I don't know what to tell her. The truth, adjusted for her age, that some people aren't ready to be parents, but that doesn't mean she isn't loved." It was the first time they'd had a truly personal conversation, and Michael realized how little he knew about the woman who cared for his children every day. "What about you? Do you ever miss having a partner?" Amanda hesitated before answering. "Sometimes, but Lily and I are fine on our own. I've learned not to rely on anyone. That's not always possible. Sometimes we need to trust people." "Like you trusted me?" she asked with a half smile. Michael laughed, a sound he hadn't made in months. "Touché, but I'm learning." During the winter, Lily got sick again, this time with a bad flu that kept her in bed for a week. Amanda was torn between caring for her daughter and working until Michael made a decision. "Bring Lily here," he said. "We have plenty of rooms, and that way you can look after her and the triplets at the same time." "I can't do that, Michael. It would be taking advantage of the situation." "It wouldn't. It's practical. Besides, the babies respond well to her. I think it would be good for everyone." Lily stayed at the mansion for 3 days, and the whole house shifted in energy. There was laughter, playfulness, a sense of family Michael hadn't felt since before Jennifer got sick. One evening, he found Amanda in the triplets' room singing softly as they slept. Lily was curled up in a nearby armchair, also asleep. "They feel at home here," he murmured. "Maybe too much," Amanda replied. "Lily keeps asking when we're going back to the baby's real home." "What if you didn't?" The question hung in the air between them. Amanda looked at Michael, trying to understand what he was really asking. "Michael, I know it's complicated. I know I'm still processing a lot. But I've been thinking a lot about our situation, about how you've become important to my children, to me. We both know this can't happen. I work for you. You're still grieving. It would be wrong. Wrong to care for someone. Wrong to want to build a family for our children." "Our children?" she repeated, surprised by his choice of words. Michael realized what he'd said and paused. "That's how I think of them now. Ethan, Jacob, and Mason are as much your children as mine. And Lily. I care about her too. Amanda felt her eyes fill with tears. Michael, you can't say these things. You can't give me hope that... What hope? He asked, stepping closer. Of having a real family. Of not being alone in the world. Of having someone who cares about me. Not just for what I can do. What if I told you that hope isn't false? Before she could answer, Lily stirred in the armchair, waking slightly. Amanda? The girl called sleepily. I'm here, sweetheart, Amanda replied, stepping back from Michael to comfort her daughter. Can I sleep with the babies tonight? No, Lily, you're still recovering from the flu. Michael watched the exchange between mother and daughter and made a decision. Lily can sleep in the guest room next door. That way she's close to the babies but has her own bed. Really? Lily asked, excited. Seriously. And tomorrow, if you're feeling better, you can help Amanda give the babies their bath. Lily's smile lit up the room. Amanda looked at Michael with gratitude and something deeper, something she was trying to resist. That night, after all the children were asleep, Michael and Amanda found themselves in the kitchen. She was preparing a cup of tea, and he had come down for water. Thank you, she said, for letting Lily stay, for being so kind to her. She's a special girl, just like her mother. They stood in silence for a moment, sipping their tea and avoiding direct eye contact. Michael, about what we talked about earlier. You don't have to say anything now. I know it's a lot to process. It's just, I've been feeling things too. Things I know I shouldn't feel. Why shouldn't you? Because you were married to a wonderful woman who died just a few months ago, because I take care of her children, because our situation is too complicated. Jennifer is gone, Amanda. And as much as I loved her, as much as I'll always cherish her memory, I'm still alive. My children are alive. Children are, and they deserve to grow up in a home full of love. And you think I can give them that love? I think you already are. The following weekend, Michael suggested a trip to the park with all the children. It was the first time they'd gone out together as a family, and he wanted to see how it would feel. Lily ran across the grass while they pushed the triple stroller with the babies. Several people greeted them, automatically assuming they were a couple with 4 children. Neither of them corrected the assumption. See how people look at us? Amanda remarked. They see a normal family. And aren't we? We're a nurse, a widower, and 4 children who are still figuring out how they fit together. Or we're 2 people who care about each other and are trying to do what's best for the children they love. During the outing, Ethan started crying inconsolably. Nothing Michael or Amanda did seemed to help. It was Lily who solved the problem, singing a childlike version of the lullaby Amanda always sang. The baby calmed immediately. Where did she learn that? Michael asked, impressed. I've sung it to her since she was a baby. It's the same song my grandmother taught me. The same one you sang to Jennifer. Yes, and the one Jennifer wanted to sing to her children. Michael stopped pushing the stroller for a moment. It's like everything was connected from the beginning. That evening, Rebecca came over for dinner, as she did every Friday. Lily was there, playing with building blocks on the living room floor while the adults talked. Michael told me you're staying here temporarily, Rebecca said to Amanda, trying to sound casual. Just until Lily fully recovers. It should only be a few more days. And how is Lily adjusting? It must be very different from your apartment. Lily looked up from her toys. I like living here, she said innocently. I get to help with the babies and there's a big yard to play in. But you don't live here, right, Lily? Rebecca pressed. You're just visiting. Lily glanced confusedly between Rebecca, Amanda, and Michael. Amanda said when I get better, we'll go back home. But I don't want to go back. Here is better. The awkwardness in the air was palpable. Amanda stood quickly. Lily, how about we go check if the babies are up from their nap? After they left, Rebecca stared at Michael. See, the girl is already getting too attached and you're letting it happen. Lily is a child. It's natural for her to like being here. Natural, or the result of her mother's manipulation. Rebecca, enough. Amanda isn't manipulating anyone, she's just living her life. Living her life in your house with your things, taking care of your children. Michael, don't you see how this is progressing? I do. and I don't see any problem with it. The problem is you're confusing gratitude with love. You're mixing up the need for a mother figure for your children with your own romantic feelings. Rebecca's words struck Michael because part of him had been wondering the same thing. Were his feelings for Amanda real or just a product of their circumstances? Later that night, he decided to talk to her about his doubts. "Can I ask you an honest question?" "Always," she replied, folding the baby's clothes for the next day. "How do you know if your feelings for me are real or just because of our situation?" Amanda stopped what she was doing and looked at him. "You want to know how I know?" she asked. "Because they scare me. If I just wanted financial security or a good job, I'd embrace these feelings. But they frighten me because they're too real. Explain it to me. When Lily was sick and you offered her the best doctor, I didn't just feel gratitude. I felt something like love. When I see you playing with the triplets, I don't just think about what a good employer you are. I think about the wonderful man you are. And when you look at me in that special way, my heart races." Michael stayed silent, processing her words. "And that scares you because I'm afraid I'm dreaming too big. I'm scared that one day you'll wake up and realize you could have any woman in the world, and you won't want the poor nurse who takes care of your kids. And I'm afraid I'm being unfair to you," Michael confessed, "offering you a complicated life with 3 babies and all the emotional baggage that comes with me. You think I didn't know that when I started falling for you?" The confession hung in the air between them. It was the first time either of them had used the word falling. "So we're both in love and scared," Michael summarized. "Seems like it. And now? Now I think we need to stop being afraid and start trusting each other." Michael stepped closer, and for the first time since they'd met, kissed her. It was a gentle kiss, full of promises and hope. When they pulled apart, Amanda smiled. "That was inevitable," he finished. "I was going to say perfect." That night, they decided they would try to build something together, slowly, respecting everyone's time, especially the children's. The next morning, Lily woke up excited and announced at breakfast, "Amanda, I had a dream that we lived here forever and I was the baby's sister." Michael and Amanda exchanged glances, both thinking the same thing. Maybe a child's dreams were wiser than an adult's fears. Over the following weeks, they began settling into a routine as a family. Michael would come home from work and play with the kids while Amanda made dinner. Lily helped care for the triplets, who were now more awake and interactive. Evenings were spent talking, planning the future, and getting to know each other better. Rebecca noticed the changes and made one last attempt to separate them. She showed up at the house one day while Michael was at work with an offer for Amanda. "I came to talk to you about an opportunity," she said, sitting in the living room. "What kind of opportunity?" "A friend of mine needs a pediatric nurse. Just one child, great salary, a house, a car, everything you could want." Amanda was suspicious. "Why are you offering this to me?" "Because I think it would be better for everyone. You'd have your independence. Michael could move on without complications, and the kids would learn not to rely on just one person. And if I don't want to leave?" "Amanda, be realistic. Do you really think a man like Michael would be satisfied with a simple life? He was born wealthy, married a socialite. What you two have is just a phase, a fantasy." "Mrs. Rebecca, with all due respect, I believe that's for Michael to decide. He's confused, vulnerable. Men sometimes mistake need for love. And women sometimes mistake fear for wisdom," Amanda countered. Rebecca was taken aback by the firmness in Amanda's voice. "You think you know my brother-in-law better than I do. I don't claim to know him better than you, but I do love him in a way you'll never understand." "Love?" Rebecca laughed. "You barely know him." "I know enough to see he's a man of integrity, a devoted father, someone who honors his late wife's memory without living in the past. I know enough to realize he makes me want to be a better person." How romantic. And when reality hits, when real problems come, when money can't fix everything, then we'll face them together. That's what people in love do. That night, Amanda told Michael about her conversation with Rebecca. He was furious. "She had no right to do that." "She does. She loves you and wants to protect you. I can understand that. But you're not going to accept her offer, are you?" "It depends." Michael's stomach twisted. Depends on what? On you giving me a reason to stay that's stronger than all the fears and doubts. What kind of reason? Tell me this is real, Michael. Tell me it's not just convenience or loneliness. Tell me you see me as a life partner, not just an employee who became something more. Michael looked at the woman who had transformed his life, and his children's, in just a few months. Amanda Parker, I love you. I love your strength, your dedication, your kindness. I love how you care for my kids as if they were your own. I love how you treat Lily like the princess she is, and I love how you make me feel alive again. Go on, she whispered, tears in her eyes. I want to wake up every day knowing you're here. I want to face life's challenges by your side. I want Lily to be my daughter officially. I want the triplets to grow up knowing they were loved not by one, but by two people who love each other. And Jennifer? Jennifer will always be part of our story. She brought Ethan, Jacob, and Mason into this world. She taught me what true love is, and she led me to you. I'll honor her memory by living the life she would have wanted for me. Amanda couldn't stop crying. Does this mean you're asking me to stay? I'm asking you to marry me. The words left his lips before he even realized he was going to say them. But as soon as they did, he knew it was exactly what he wanted. Michael, I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. But I also know what we have is special, and I don't want to waste any more time being afraid. What if it doesn't work? What if it does? What if we're happy? What if we can give our kids the family they deserve? Amanda glanced at the triplets' room, where Lily was helping tidy up the toys. She looked at Michael, the man who had become so much more than just her employer. She thought of every reason to say no, and every reason to say yes. Yes, she whispered. Yes? Yes, I'll marry you. Yes, I want to build a family with you. Yes, I love you too. Michael kissed her with all the passion he'd held back for months. When they pulled apart, they heard clapping from the doorway. Lily was beaming, her hands together. Does this mean I get to be the baby's sister forever? It does, Michael said, scooping her up. If you want to. I do. Can I call you Daddy? Michael's eyes welled with tears. Of course you can, Princess. That night, after all the children were asleep, Michael called Rebecca. I need to tell you something. Amanda and I are getting married. The silence on the other end of the line lasted an eternity. Michael, I know you don't approve. I know you're afraid I'm making a mistake. But you need to understand one thing. I love this woman. And she loves me and my children in a way I never thought possible again. What about Jennifer? Jennifer will always be the mother of the triplets. She'll always be my first wife, my first love. But she's gone, Rebecca. And I still have a whole life ahead of me. Are you sure about this? I am. And I need you to accept it. I need you to be part of our family because you matter to me. But I can't keep living my life trying to please you. Rebecca stayed silent for a long time. All right, she finally said. If this is what makes you happy, then I'll try to accept it. Thank you, Rebecca. That means a lot to me. The wedding was set for 3 months later, a simple ceremony in the mansion's garden. Lily would be the flower girl, and the triplets, though still too young to understand, would be there. During the preparations, Michael insisted Amanda choose everything her way. It's our wedding, she protested. We should decide together. I only want one thing, for you to be happy. The rest is just details. A week before the wedding, Michael got an unexpected call. It was Amanda's ex-boyfriend, Lily's father, wanting to reconnect. He's coming here, Amanda told Michael, clearly upset. He said he wants to meet Lily and take responsibility. What do you want to do? I don't know. Part of me wants Lily to know her biological father, but part of me is afraid he'll show up, give her false hope, and then disappear again. Does he know you're getting married? Yes. And he didn't like the idea at all. The next day, Tyler showed up at the mansion. He was a young, well-dressed man with the kind of confidence that comes from never facing real consequences in life. So you're the famous stepdad, he said to Michael with a slightly provocative tone. I'm the father Lily chose, Michael replied calmly. The father she chose, She's 4 years old, man. She can't choose anything. Amanda stepped in before things escalated. Tyler, let's talk in private. They walked away, and Michael watched Lily play with the triplets, oblivious to the adults' tension. Why are you coming back now? Amanda asked. Because I'm finally in a stable place. I have a good job, a nice apartment. I can take care of my daughter. Your daughter. 5 years ago, you said you didn't want responsibilities. People change, Amanda. And when I heard you were marrying a millionaire, I thought maybe it was time to step up. Step up or make sure you're not left out. Tyler didn't answer, but his silence said it all. I want to spend a few days with Lily, get to know her properly, see if we can build a relationship. Amanda looked at Lily, who was teaching Mason how to clap. Fine, but with conditions. First, you can't make promises you won't keep. Second, if you decide you don't want to stay involved, you tell me before talking to her. And third, you respect that Michael is the father she knows. Tyler agreed to the terms, but Michael could tell he wasn't being entirely honest. Over the next 3 days, Tyler visited Lily daily. At first, the little girl was confused, but she gradually warmed up to the extra attention. He brought gifts, took her out, promised trips and adventures. Amanda, I need to tell you something, Lily said on the third night. Tyler said maybe I can live with him sometimes. Amanda felt her blood run cold. He said that? He said when he gets back from his trip, we can spend weekends together. What trip? That's when Tyler appeared at the door, smiling. Can I talk to you, Amanda? They stepped out into the garden where he revealed his true plans. I got a job in Los Angeles. It's an incredible opportunity. It'll change my life. And Lily? Well, she can come visit me during school breaks. It'll be fun for her to see another country. You can't be serious. Why not? It'll be an amazing experience for her. Tyler, you spent 3 days making promises to a 4-year-old, and now you want to leave for another country. I'm not leaving, I'm expanding my horizons. And hers too. Amanda felt a rage she hadn't felt in a long time. You know what? Thank you. Thank you? For reminding me exactly why I didn't want you in Lily's life from the start. For showing me that Michael is 1,000 times the man you'll ever be. Hey, hold on. No, I won't hold on. You show up after 5 years, fill a child's head with ideas, and now you want to leave again? That's not happening. Amanda, be reasonable. I have rights. Rights? What rights? You signed away your parental rights when Lily was born. Remember? When you said you didn't want anything to tie you down. Tyler had no comeback. He'd forgotten that detail. Even so, I'm her biological father. And Michael is the father of her heart. Guess which one matters more? That night, Michael found Amanda crying in the triplets' room. What happened? She told him everything about the conversation with Tyler, about the empty promises he'd made to Lily. How am I supposed to explain to her that her father is leaving again? With the truth, that sometimes adults make bad choices, but it doesn't mean she isn't loved. She'll be devastated. She'll be sad, but she'll get through it because she has a family who truly loves her. The next morning, Tyler came to say goodbye to Lily. Michael insisted on being there for the conversation. Lily, Daddy has to go away for a while, Tyler said, avoiding her gaze. How long? I'm not sure yet, but we'll talk on the phone, okay? Lily looked confused between Tyler, Amanda, and Michael. But you said we'd spend weekends together. Things changed, Princess. It was Michael who knelt to her level. Lily, sometimes adults have to make hard choices. Tyler has to go work far away and he can't take you with him. But will he come back? Michael glanced at Tyler, who looked away. Maybe. But until then, you have Amanda, you have me, you have the babies. You have a whole family who loves you every day. Lily nodded, but Michael could see the sadness in her eyes. After Tyler left, Lily was quiet the rest of the day. At bedtime, she asked Amanda to sing their special song, but it still took her a while to fall asleep. Amanda, she called out in the dark. Yes, sweetheart. Will Michael leave too? Never. Michael will always be here with us. Promise. I promise, Michael said, appearing in the doorway. And you know how you can be sure? How? Because after the wedding you'll officially be my daughter, and real daddies never leave their girls. Lily smiled for the first time that day. Can I see my flower girl dress again? Of course, Princess. The wedding took place on a sunny spring morning. Amanda glowed in a simple yet elegant dress, chosen more for comfort than show. Lily stole the show as the flower girl, carrying the rings on a satin pillow. The triplets slept peacefully in their flower-decked strollers. Ethan, Jacob, and Mason seemed to know it was a special day. Rebecca was there, and though she still had reservations, she managed to smile when Michael and Amanda exchanged vows. I promise to love you on the good days and the bad, Michael said, holding Amanda's hands. I promise to honor not just you, but the memory of those who brought us here. I promise to be the father Lily deserves and the husband you dreamed of having. I promise to turn our house into a home full of love and music, Amanda replied. I promise to care for our children as if they all came from my own heart, and I promise to love you with the same intensity that brought me back to life. When the priest declared them husband and wife, Lily shouted, "Now we're a real family," and everyone laughed. The celebration was small and intimate, with only close family and a few friends. During dinner, Michael stood to make a toast. A year ago I was lost, not knowing how to care for 3 newborns who wouldn't stop crying. Today I'm here married to the woman who not only calmed my children, but also soothed my soul. He looked at Amanda, then at Lily, then at the triplets. Jennifer, if you're watching us, thank you for leading me to Amanda. Thank you for teaching me that love has no limits, that a family can form in so many different ways. Rebecca unexpectedly stood up. Can I say something too? Everyone fell silent, surprised. I wasn't fair to you, Amanda. I was scared. Scared of losing my place in the family, scared Jennifer would be forgotten. But seeing you all today, watching Lily call Michael Daddy, seeing how the triplets respond to you, I realized love doesn't replace love, it multiplies. She turned to Amanda. Welcome to the family. Officially. Amanda stood and hugged Rebecca, both with tears in their eyes. 6 months after the wedding, Michael found Amanda singing to the triplets in the garden. They had grown, able to sit up on their own and respond more to those around them. Lily was at school, and the house was quiet except for the soft melody Amanda hummed. It still works, he remarked, walking closer. What does? The magic song. They still calm down when you sing. I think they always will. It's our special song. Michael sat beside her on the grass. You know what I've been thinking? What? Maybe it's time we officially adopt each other. What do you mean? I want to legally adopt Lily, and I want you to adopt Ethan, Jacob, and Mason, so they're all officially siblings. Amanda looked at the triplets, who babbled happily. Are you sure? I've never been more certain of anything in my life. The adoption process took a few months, but on a fall afternoon, they left the courthouse as an officially united family. Lily Parker Thompson, Ethan Parker Thompson, Jacob Parker Thompson, and Mason Parker Thompson. Now nothing can separate us, Lily declared, holding Michael's hand. Nothing at all, Princess. That night, after all the children were asleep, Michael and Amanda sat in the garden where they had married. Do you regret anything? She asked. What? Marrying the nurse instead of finding someone from your social circle. Michael laughed. Amanda, you're the most elegant, intelligent, and strong woman I've ever known. Social standing isn't measured by money. And you? Do you regret leaving your simple life to marry a complicated man with so much baggage? My favorite kind of baggage, she replied, pointing to the children's bedroom window. Even when Ethan's throwing one of his tantrums? Especially then. It means he feels safe enough to express himself. Michael laughed and kissed her. I love you, Amanda Parker Thompson. And I love you, Michael Parker Thompson. 2 years later, the family was complete with the arrival of another baby, a girl they named Jennifer, in honor of Michael's first wife. Lily, now 7 years old, was the proud and caring big sister. The triplets, at 3 years old, were a force of nature. Ethan was the natural leader, always coming up with games. Jacob was the thinker, observing everything before acting. Mason was the affectionate one, always wanting to hug someone, and all of them still calmed down when Amanda sang the special song. "You know what the most amazing part of this whole story is?" Michael said one night, watching Amanda nurse Jennifer while humming softly. "What?" "That it started with crying and turned into music." "That's just how life is," Amanda replied. "Sometimes we have to go through the noise to find the melody." "And you? Are you happy with our melody?" "I'm happy with our entire symphony." Just then, Lily walked into the room, followed by the triplets who had climbed out of their beds. "Can we sleep here tonight?" she asked. "The boys said they're scared of the dark." "I'm not scared," Ethan protested. "It's Jacob who's scared," Mason accused. "Am not," Jacob defended. Michael and Amanda laughed. Their king-size bed barely fit 5 kids and 2 adults, but somehow they always managed to make it work. "Okay," Amanda said, "but just for tonight." "You say that every night," Lily pointed out, smiling. "And every night it's just for tonight," Michael added, helping the kids settle in. That night, lying all together in bed, with Jennifer asleep in Amanda's arms and the other 4 children sprawled between them, Michael looked up at the ceiling and smiled. Just a few years ago, he'd been alone, desperate, unsure how to care for 3 babies who wouldn't stop crying. Now, he had a loud, chaotic, perfect family. "What are you thinking about?" Amanda whispered. "How life can change completely in such a short time. For the better? So much better." Amanda began to hum softly, and one by one the children drifted off. First Mason, then Jacob, then Ethan, then Lily, and finally Jennifer. "Still works," Michael whispered. "It always will. It's the song of our love." And so, in the house that once echoed with desperate cries, the sweetest melody now played. The song of a family brought together by the music of a heart that knew how to turn tears into harmony. At the end, and you, what did you think of this love story that began with triplets who wouldn't stop crying? Can you imagine how a simple lullaby can change entire lives? Tell us in the comments what your favorite part was, and whether you believe in the power of music to heal broken hearts. Your opinion means so much to us. Don't forget to like and, most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss other heartwarming stories like this one.